Hey everyone, Pyroman Tom here. We're going to be doing a little segment today, and I think I might even continue it. It's a combination of just the Dark Brotherhood quest, but what it mainly is story time. That's right, you get to hear me tell stories about what's happened to me in my life. It's a pretty interesting segment. Today um, I'm going to be reading you guys a story that was actually what I dreamed this morning, and I typed up the story. If you hear any drunk people, my window is open, and it is nighttime, so there might be drunk people just randomly yelling. But I'm going to check the audio quality on this, and I'll be back in a second. Everyone, I'm back. I had to crash the desktop last time I was recording, but the way you start the Dark Brotherhood, you talk to any innkeep, and ask them about rumors, and they'll tell you a kid's trying to perform the Dark Sacrament. So you go up to see him. What? It's letting me turn this? The story we're gonna tell today, it is what I was dreaming this morning, and we'll have to change a few people's names, just because I didn't ask them if I could use their names. But hopefully the game won't crash this time. So I went to my buddy, I'm changing this guy's name, I went to my buddy Bob's house with my friend Quinn, who I'm not actually changing his name, he's actually named Quinn. Except for, it wasn't actually Bob's house, it was like just a house that I knew it was his in the dream, but I knew it wasn't his house in real life. And I parked really far away for some reason. And Bob's mom was like super friendly and nice and everything when me and Quinn went inside, which is weird because I never talked to Bob's mom. I haven't said more than a few sentences in my life to her. And we're sitting there, and I brought, for some reason, I don't know why, how this even got into my head, but I had a 12-pack of Pepsi that I had already opened, and I had reclosed, like I'd opened it and taken stuff out and reclosed it, and I had some Everclear, which is weird because I don't drink, but it was in a bottle or something, and had some Everclear, and I had a bottle of lube, which I have no idea why I had that either, but I did. Get over it, Grimvar. And then I had a bunch of sodas. So, why is it telling me that? I had all that, and I went downstairs and put it in a closet. And I was wearing a backpack. And while I was wearing a backpack, I jumped down from something, and they had...
You've come at last! It worked! I knew you'd come! I just knew it! I did the Black Sacrament over and over with the body and the things.
I'll let this kid talk before I
assassin
continue.
From the Dark Brotherhood. It took so long, so very long. But now that you're here, you can accept my contract. My mother, she died. I'm all alone now. So they sent me to that terrible orphanage in Riften. Honor Hall. The headmistress is an evil, cruel woman. They call her Grella the Kind. But she's not kind. She's terrible to all of us. So I ran away and came home and performed the Black Sacrament. Now you're here. And you could kill Grella the Kind.
I think this kid might be mentally unstable. He has human body parts in us, you know.
Please hurry. To be honest, I'm kind of lonely here. As much as I hated getting sent to Honor Hall, I really miss my
human
friends.
heart, human flesh, great stuff. But let's put this quest on. So, I was wearing my backpack, and I jumped down from something. I'm not sure why I was up there or why I was jumping down. And they had, for some reason, a list of all of their business friends and clients who had flyers and stuff, and it was up in alphabetical order, duct taped to like a dresser. And I knocked a couple of the flyers off, and I was like, dang, I need to put these back up. So I was all felt obligated to just put these back on there. But Miss Parker had seen that I knocked them over, and she's like, wait, honey, if you're going to put those back up there, you need my book of contacts. Which I still don't understand why I need her book of contacts. Was there an alphabetical order, and they had the name of the person right above the flyer, so I could just match the names to the flyer. But either way, she gave me the book of contacts. I tried to put as many back up as I could, but some of them were under the table or whatever, so I couldn't. And then it sort of cut, and I was in a room that looked a little bit like my dorm room, and it had 2 doors that you could get into the room from.
None of you riffraff is getting adopted, ever. Nobody needs you. Nobody wants you. That, my darlings, is why you're here. Why you will always be here until the day you come of age and get thrown
So I was in
into
this
that
room,
wide,
2 doors.
horrible
The room's
world.
dirty. There's just
Now,
stuff
what
on the
do you all
floor,
say?
which
We love you,
later in the
Grandma.
story, I
Thank you
think
for
that
your kindness.
That's
I
good.
ended up
Now
cleaning it up.
scurry
But
off, my little gutter snipes.
while I'm in the room, this guy from my high school, as well as there's a few popular kids that I knew in high school, very specific that I rarely knew at all.
You really shouldn't be here.
Walked in there. They started questioning me. They're like,
Please, lady.
why are you here?
Get out of here.
Who do you
Ever
know?
since Aventus left, Grella's been even meaner than usual. I swear, she's gonna kill one of us.
What do you want? You have no business being in here.
Come to get yourself a kid? You're out of luck. No way Grilla would let any of us get adopted. Especially not since
I
Aventus
don't know
took
exactly
her.
how I'm gonna kill her. But Peyton and these kids from high school, they were like, dude, why are you here? Who gave you this address? And I was like, this is my friend's house. I'm friends with Bob and Bob's brother and Bob's mom and Bob's dad. And they're
He was so mad.
a little bit
I got
angry or
double
confused or
excited.
something while I was there, but it ended up like they were having a little.
It's too bad the orphanage ain't
I don't
letting
know.
us
Are these kids gonna care if I kill her?
Best song ever.
Let's see.
What do you want? You have no business.
It's Grilla.
Just leave here. Leave us alone.
Did I get a bounty from that?
No more. I yield.
I don't think she liked that. I'm gonna load. They were throwing a. It was like an adult sort of just social party, where it would be like a Christmas party where there's little hors d'oeuvres and there's people drinking punch out of those little plastic cups that are see-through and really easy to break if you squeeze them.
What do you want? You have no business being in here.
I'm gonna see what these different options do.
What are you staring at, you worthless piece of gutter trash? I simply must start locking the doors again. Think you can intimidate me? In my own orphanage? Ha! Not bloody
I'm gonna
likely.
wait until she goes to sleep.
Constance.
They're throwing like an adult thing, and I don't even know why they were there, because they aren't like adults. And it was a formal party.
We don't want the little darlings getting.
And people started coming in like adults, just socializing and eating little snacks and stuff. And they're starting to wonder, they're like, why is this room so dirty if we're socializing here for a party? And so I started to clean it up. It felt like it was my room. It wasn't actually my room.
You don't scare me.
And I started picking up all this whatever, clothes and stuff off the ground, and the people didn't even care. Like, I was taking clothes that they were standing on out from under them. They just kept socializing and ignoring me. And then eventually I was like, I need to put a tuxedo on. So all the people left the room for one reason or another. And I have to tell Lydia to leave. Oh, right.
When Aventus escaped, Grilla got meaner than ever. I really thought she was going to kill one of us. Guess not.
How do I tell if my, let's see. Diseases, bribes, persuasions, books. Crime. Yeah. I'm just gonna continue on.
Just leave here. Leave us alone.
So I was like, there's a formal party going on. I need to put on my tuxedo that I obviously had because I'm in a room at my friend's house. It's not actually his house that I had just cleaned up. It was dreams, man. They're crazy stuff. So the people left the room for one reason or another. And there's two doors, so I can't really go guard them. And for some reason, you can't lock the doors. So I'm changed in my tuxedo. And like a few people come up to the door when I'm wearing my underpants. And they try to get in. And I was like, no, you can't come in here. And I stopped like two people from coming in. And all of a sudden, like some random like 20-year-old girl or whatever from the party came up, and I was like, you can come in. And this isn't sexual at all. It's just a little thing that happened in the dream. Where does it want me to go? Is he here? And she was like, I was in my boxers, and she didn't really care or anything. And then all of a sudden, like, her mom came, which I don't know why she was even at a party with her mom. She's like 20 years old, and it's an adult thing. But she's like, you gotta go. And then the girl's like, oh yeah, I do have to go. So I put on my tuxedo, and when we left the room, all of a sudden, it was like a student center or a government building, like a huge mega building. And,
Well, we're all of the kind. Is she, you know... Aha! I knew you could do it. I just knew it. I knew the Dark Brotherhood would save me. Here, just like I promised. This should fetch you a nice price. Thank you. Thank you again.
all right. Family heirloom. So I put my tuxedo on and everything, and I was like, I'll walk with you to wherever you're going. Because I'm wearing a tuxedo and we're in a massive building now. I didn't find this weird at the time. Let me check my quests. Let's wait. So I was walking with her with a tuxedo on and everything, and we keep walking across this massive building, and then we're at 2 doors that obviously go into a courtroom, and we're on the inside of this building, but then there's doors that go into another room that is a big room that's a courtroom. And then I was like, wow, she's like a lawyer, works with a law firm. And I was like, wait, before you go in, let me get your number. And I reached for my pockets to find my phone, to put it in my phone. But turns out that I didn't have my phone because I just changed into a tuxedo. And I was like, all right, let me put my number into your phone, and you can text me so that I have your number, and voila. And she's like, okay. And so we sit down at these tables next to the courtroom. There's like a whole bunch of tables like there would be at a cafeteria or something. And so we sat down, and she has a really complicated phone. She hands it to me like to put in my number and everything. And I'm just like, can't figure out how to put the number in the phone, and she must think I'm stupid or something. But then all of a sudden, like, I look up while I'm trying to enter my number in the phone, and she's trying to help me enter my number in the phone, and she's just like a really snazzy, like a 13 or 14-year-old black girl, and I was just like, okay. And then I just gave up on trying to put the number in the phone, and she was like, you're an idiot and stuff. And so I left that, and then, let me scroll down. So, yeah, I gave up, and at this point in time, what do I do? I woke up because my roommate plays rock band, and he has a drum pad in his room, so he was playing the drum thing really loud, even though the doors were closed. It was just loud enough to wake me up, and I made sure that both of our doors were closed, and I put some earplugs in. Hey everyone, I had a crash to desktop, but I put some earplugs in, and laid back down. I was thinking how weird it was that I'd had this really crazy dream and everything, and I had one the night before. I had one last night as well, that was really visible and weird. So I was just thinking, just intently about this dream. I was like, thinking about it and everything, and I fell back to sleep, or I started daydreaming really deeply, one or the other. But either way, I ended up back in the same dream, and the student center had went back into Bob's house, like it changed back to Bob's house, and Bob's dad gets back. What? Why is it not? Bob's dad gets back, and I'm walking down the stairs, and he just either says something really funny or makes a weird face or sound at me, and I'm just laughing. He's laughing. We're having a good time. I'm like, oh yeah, this is great to see you again, Bob's dad. And he's like, oh yeah, it's just great to see you again, too. And then, so I get on stairs, and Bob's sister, who does not exist in real life, is in a room with a friend of mine from high school. And I'm like, I'll call her Bobette. but isn't related to Bob at all. I was like, I see Bobette, and I just run and jump. They're sitting there on the bed looking at Facebook, and I'm like, Bobette, I haven't seen you in forever. And I noticed that she had like 9 notifications on her Facebook. But when I jumped there, it either like the computer went to my Facebook or like just all of a sudden it transformed. But the notifications went up to 36 notifications, and she got one message and 9 friend requests. And I don't know why, but I was glad I saw Bobette. And then after that, Quinn needed to know how to get to his car, or needed to know how to drive home, because he didn't know how to drive home, even though he's good friends with Bob. He just, I don't know, the dream was weird. And so I start walking with Quinn, and then we're on the backside of Highway 31, where there's like a Party City and like a Books A Million. We're behind those buildings, and it's a really obvious place like to know how to get home, and apparently it's pretty close. And we walk back to Bob's house, and Bob's mom's like, "Hey, where have you been?" And I was like, "Oh, I was just showing that Quinn the way to drive home when he needs to go." And I just thought this dream was so ridiculous that I needed to type it up, and I ended up typing it up. It's like 1,100 words, or 1,300 words. Alrighty then. And I just thought, I could retell that in a YouTube video. So I guess that's part 1. I turned off quite a few mods because the game kept crashing, and this guy is not finding me now. But that was the first story. I'm gonna at least film this video until he contacts me. But yeah, if you guys like this, just press the like button. You can subscribe if you want to. If you don't bother.
I've been looking for you. That's something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only.
Just almost
Let's
shot
see.
myself.
Yeah, got this note.
Because I heard a random voice
Creepy fella,
outside.
black robe, couldn't see his face. Paid me a pretty sum to get that into your hands, though. Looks like that's it. Got to go. You wish to summon the Dark Brotherhood? You wish to see someone dead? Pray, child, pray, and let the Night Mother hear your plea. You must perform the most profane of rituals, the Black Sacrament. Create an effigy of the intended victim assembled from actual body parts, including a heart, skull bones, and flesh. Circle the effigy with candles. The ritual itself must then commence. Proceed to stab the effigy repeatedly with a dagger rubbed with the petals of a nightshade plant, while whispering this plea, sweet mother, send your child unto me, for the sins of the unworthy must be baptized in blood and fear. Then wait, child, for the dread Father Sithis rewards the patient. You will be visited by a representative of the Dark Brotherhood. So begins a contract bound in blood.
Dun dun dun. So he contacted me. Did I get a quest? I'm guessing no. So I'm gonna continue on my fine way. I'm just gonna do a little side thing really fast. Just get a few quest items out of my inventory. I might be able to find out what the other dream I had was and read that out, but I am gonna tell a few more other stories. I hope you guys enjoyed this segment. Sorry for all the crashes. I think it was one of the texture mods that I had turned on that kept crashing my game. Try to put this up tonight so I can send it to some people who wanted to know the story of my dream, but it's pretty crazy. It's been Power Man Tom. Peace out.